Hey guys, welcome back on the channel. In this video, I will show you how to find and keep track of the best liquidity pools for earning yield on Bitcoin. For that, we will use DEX Screener, which is a powerful tool to track crypto markets in real time. You can consider this as a follow-up on my video where I showed you a complete tutorial of DEX Screener. You can find the link for it in the description. If you are a complete beginner, definitely after watching this, go and check that other video out. But now we will put some of DEX Screener's main features to work so that we can find good opportunities to yield farm on, put your BTC, your Bitcoin holdings to work and generate some crypto passive income. So let's dive in. So let me start by showing you I created a watch list for these pools. I named it BTC pools and I started adding some pools to it. And now it's effectively tracking many different pools in different blockchains. Now I want this to show up in the full screen. So I'm gonna click here on the watch list name, and now it's showing everything that I added currently to this pool. I can add more, I can remove stuff from the list, I can share it even, but I'm going to show you how I created this list and how you can do the same in order to track any given token. Bitcoin is an example, but you can use, of course, this same methodology to create your own pools for whatever token. Although if you're a complete beginner in crypto and even to providing liquidity, I highly recommend you to look for blue chip asset pools. And also let me add in, of course, none of this is native Bitcoin, which for Bitcoin maxis, it's probably not gonna be something you're interested on because this will involve some level of risk. After all of these are derivatives, and I might come up with a video about Bitcoin derivatives, talking a little bit about all of the differences. Although all of these are pegged to Bitcoin and they are a way for you to earn yield on chain outside of the Bitcoin native network, because DeFi pretty much only started on Ethereum. And DeFi on Ethereum layer 2s, it's much more developed than compared with Bitcoin's own blockchain, alright? So that's more as a side note, but on screen you can see multiple liquidity pools. They will be made from different Bitcoin derivatives. Most of them will be wrapped Bitcoin, but there's others like Coinbase Bitcoin. This is specifically on base chain. BTCB, this is specifically on the Binance Smart Chain. So let's go back here on that screener and see how you can set up filters to show up the more reliable Bitcoin liquidity pools. Now first we want to set this by top pools and then by volume. From here on we'll have the most traded, or at least the pools that are more on demand, that have been generating the highest volume for the past day. You can even see that the first one, it's Solana paired with USDC on Orca. So this is also another blue chip asset pool that you could potentially provide liquidity to, and actually it's one of my favorites. Actually, it's my number one favorite on Solana. We look at the volume, it's pretty much very close to 10x of liquidity. It's definitely a printer. Now we can already see still in the top 10, there's already a Bitcoin liquidity pool here on base. This is on Aerodrome, but let's add some other filters. The point of adding filters here, and let me just remove these 24-hour transactions. I'm gonna set up a liquidity to be at a minimum of $1 million. That's because I'm trying to filter out lower liquidity pools. I want something with deeper liquidity because that, after all, yes, it will have more competition from other liquidity providers, but it will be able to handle more volume and more transactions overall, and these pools tend to perform much better over time. And you see now it changes it up what we were looking on screen a little bit. This pair is now ranking 7th, and it's actually the first Bitcoin liquidity pool that we find here in the list. And this one is performing also really well. If you look at the volume to liquidity ratio, we have a volume that surpasses the liquidity by a lot. So this is going to be something that works really well when it comes to generating fees. Now let me add some more liquidity here to the filter. Let's put 5 million liquidity. Actually, let's put 10 million instead, because Bitcoin liquidity pools tend to be high in liquidity and 10 millions might even be too little. But from here on, we can already start opening up pools. You see this one is already on the list. If I click it, it's showing here a check mark. This I already added. So I can go back, I can even open all of this in different tabs and then select each one by one. But for example, we have a couple of pools here on Ethereum blockchain, on Uniswap. They're both concentrated liquidity pools, and one is Bitcoin paired with Ethereum and another is Bitcoin paired with USDC. Wrapped Bitcoin paired with USDC has much deeper liquidity and the volume is lower, so it is not nearly performing as well as this Bitcoin paired with wrapped Ethereum, which has a higher volume to liquidity ratio. We have another Bitcoin paired with wrapped Ethereum here on Arbitrum. This is not performing as well comparing with the one on Ethereum blockchain because the volume is lower than the liquidity. So you get the idea, right? Now, when you're looking at a pool that has Bitcoin paired with another volatile asset, which is the case of Ethereum, you want to see if the pair is highly correlated or not, if the price moves together or not. And that is usually the case with Bitcoin and Ethereum. They pretty much move hand in hand, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you're looking at something else, go for example on DeFi Llama, check out the correlation matrix and see if it's a good idea or not to deposit your assets into such liquidity pool, okay? But now it's just a matter of us scrolling through and seeing if you find something interesting. Let's check this one, wrap Bitcoin paired with USDT on ARB. This is doing quite well when it comes to volume to liquidity ratio. It's already on my watch list, but you get an idea. If it's not on your list, you can add it as easy as just a couple of clicks. Another one on Arbitrum, this time is wrapped Bitcoin paired with USDC, a different stablecoin than USDT, but the volume to liquidity ratio, it's still really good. It's double volume compared with the liquidity. It's still a 1-year-old pool, so I'm happy enough with that. Now we're getting the first Bitcoin pool on the BNB chain here on the list. Depending on when you're watching the video, if you will go and apply the same strategy yourself, you might find this pool ranking above others. That's due to the nature of markets. It's going to be normal, okay? But this is BTCB paired with USDT. It's on the Binance Smart Chain, on PancakeSwap, and this is also a very well performing liquidity pool in the long run. Now you get the idea how to do this. We keep scrolling down. We will eventually find more and more liquidity pools. If you want to filter things out, because effectively we're still looking at a lot of other stuff on screen, you can definitely add your minimum liquidity. Let's add in 50 million. I know this will filter many other pools out of the way. So yeah, here we have it. Of course, if you do this, you'll also filter out other Bitcoin liquidity pools that will have a lower liquidity than what you have set in your filter, all right? But what makes this very powerful is that this tracks multiple blockchains at once. And not only that, also multiple decentralized exchanges. And once you have your favorite selection in, you can come here and see which one is performing the best, and if there is something that is being outperformed, you can easily check that here on the screen. And let's say you have some funds on the Binance Smart Chain, but you're not happy with how the liquidity pool has been performing, you can effectively see some better option. It doesn't mean that in the future they will keep on outperforming. Like I said before, these will be very volatile. It's the nature of crypto markets, but you can take advantage of the fact that you are completely free to deposit or remove funds from any liquidity pool at will and move your funds bridge to another blockchain, and maybe you will get better results than you are experiencing so far. Of course, I don't advise you to keep on jumping from DEX to DEX and blockchain to blockchain. Do take some time, let things sit, and eventually after a couple of weeks, if you're not happy with the results, then yeah, move on. But potentially what you want to do is have your funds split through different blockchains, different DEXs, even on the same blockchain but different DEXs, because that will be a very effective way for you to also spread out risk. It's like the saying goes, do not keep your eggs all in one basket. Although these deeper liquidity pools in reputable exchanges, they've been operating for years. For the most part, you see there's only actually two liquidity pools that are under a year old, and probably this one as well. I mean, Coinbase's BTC is a Bitcoin derivative that has not been around for a whole year so far, but you get the idea. From all of these pools, we have 3 that are under 1 year old, and we're talking about Bitcoin. Probably there's no shortage of people trying to find some exploit, some hack, and get into these juicy pools that are handling billions of dollars in liquidity. Another way this can be done to find your preferred Bitcoin backed assets is by using a search bar. This will only work if you know already beforehand what specific token you're looking on. So for example, wrapped Bitcoin or WBTC is a very popular one across Ethereum, Ethereum layer 2s, Solana. Plenty of blockchains use this tokenized version of Bitcoin. And from the results here on the list, we can then go ahead and start browsing through all of the pools and selecting the ones that interest us the most. This will definitely be a cleaner way for you to look for potential liquidity pools, but like I said, the biggest downside is that you'll have to know which specific token you are looking for. But you can see already there's the top two already added to the list, but then there might be others here. So we have this interesting one here on Orca with higher volume than liquidity. It's roughly double volume to liquidity. That's a really sweet spot, and it is wrapped Bitcoin paired with JLP, which is actually a very robust token, especially if you are interested in investing in Solana. This might be a token you want to have exposure on because it's sort of a basket of assets, blue chip assets actually, that are deposited on Jupiter's liquidity pools. And we also have this one, wrapped Bitcoin, paired with CBBTC, Coinbase's Bitcoin. And although this has a lower volume than liquidity, it's also a very interesting one because we're looking at two Bitcoin tokens. So in here you will not experience impermanent loss. We could definitely add this on to our BTC pools watch list. Also, we could add this one on Shadow. Shadow is an exchange on Sonic with a very interesting performance to say the least. So I definitely also want to add that to the list. We have other options, of course. There's this one on Pulse Chain, this one on Crow. There's even a couple pools, more than a couple, on Berachain, AVAX, and of course you should also consider the blockchain in which you are depositing liquidity, the protocol, the exchange, right? So these are more recent options, Berachain, Sonic, even Pulse. Then compared with the options we saw before, for example, stuff on Ethereum, Arbitrum, Solana, BNB, those will be blockchains that have been operating for longer periods of time. So those are also things that you should consider in your risk assessment. In case you already know which specific tokenized version of Bitcoin you want to invest on, deposit some liquidity with, then definitely using the search bar will be a more straight to the point approach. But there you have it, guys, a free, effective, and very quick way that you can start tracking performance through different blockchains, different exchanges, and see what is performing best. I can tell you already, Solana tends to do quite well. You see here, if we sort things by makers, which are unique wallets that bought or sold the pair, the first two are on Solana. If we sort out by volume, we have a different ranking, but remember to always check volume to liquidity ratio. For example, from all of this showing here, this one on base is doing quite well, much higher volume than liquidity. Then we have these second and third ranking pools, which have a lower volume than liquidity. Both of them have. So there's others performing much better. This one on Arbitrum is also a good option with a volume that is more than double than the liquidity. This one on Solana that is doing also really well. So you get the idea. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, okay? And this just shows you that even in a random day where the market is not as crazy as it has been before, we see Bitcoin liquidity pools performing really well. And these over time will allow you to stack Bitcoin, get some passive income also in the shape of USDT, maybe Solana, maybe BNB. There's also a very good BTCB BNB liquidity pool on PancakeSwap on the Binance Smart Chain. And there's multiple strategies that you can then use on these pools. You can take your profits in the shape of the stablecoin, for example. You can accumulate the Bitcoin derivative and then bridge it back to Bitcoin's native blockchain, building your bag over time. Or maybe you also want to buy more Bitcoin with the fees that you're getting in the shape of the stablecoin or Solana or whatever pair you're providing liquidity to. Yield farming, it's not rocket science. Anyone can learn this stuff. All the information is available for free. Crypto is the financial revolution, I believe, and The whole goal of the channel is sharing that information with you guys, help you to get financially independent with blockchain technology. Exciting times ahead, I believe. This is light years away from whatever the traditional fiat financial system can offer. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. Like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching. Take care. Ask away anything in the comment section. Keep exploring crypto, and I'll see you on the next one.